6. That's how many building DLCs we'll be discussing in this video. 4 of them are just building skins. The 5th one is a set of additional items. And the 6th one actually includes a whole bunch of different things, one of which is obviously imbalanced. Hello, this is Woodcocker, and today we'll be discussing whether building skins affect base protection, what critical bugs you can buy for Rust for just a few dollars, and what traps can only be built by donators. Additionally, by the end of this video, you'll learn which skins can give you an advantage in the game, and I'll also help you decide which skin to choose if you don't want to buy them all. So sit back and enjoy the video. First, let's talk about the minor and not so significant visual differences of skins. These insignificant differences have some interesting implications when it comes to the use of paid skins. Let's start with something simple, like this edge. Using it, our character won't accidentally fall out of the roof without our willingness. This edge only exists in 2 skins, the brick and the container skin. It doesn't matter if we're moving forward, climbing a roof, or even run to the side of the edge. The game simply won't let us fall, no matter how hard we try. And we'll use this feature later, but the most important thing to look at is the collisions of the roofs, as they are quite interesting. Now let's place a target under a stone base. I'll poke my head out of the shooting floor just enough to shoot at the target. Now, from the target's perspective, my character looks like this. But how does the game engine see this? In fact, there is no stone texture that the bullets can penetrate, so they will pass right through. This means that we are effectively sticking out of the roof by this much, and it will be much easier for an opponent to hit us. If we have a brick skin, we would be able to see the target much earlier, so we wouldn't have to stick our head out as far. A similar situation occurs with default metal skin. The texture is much smaller, but it still gives an advantage to our opponent. To avoid this, we use brick and container skins, which clearly lead to better results. Now, let's look at the side textures of the roofs. They also differ significantly from the default ones. For example, these parts can be useful in this case, where they allow us to completely close the hole in the roof with textures. But they can also harm, allowing an opponent to sneak onto the roof without using a ladder. Or they can interfere with the construction of loot rooms, which is not very pleasant too. As these edges, unlike the upper ones, are physical objects, we can use the difference between textures in building. Here are a few examples of such use. A cheap bunker, where the default stone roof doesn't allow the player to squeeze between the stairs and the edge of the roof. If you want to get inside, simply change the roof skin to Adobe or Brutalist. It's cheap, so you can have a wooden door for a while without worrying about being raided. If you want something even simpler and cheaper, just forget about the stairs and upgrade the roof to a brick skin. Now, to get through a doorway, you'll have to make a real effort, jumping and ducking. This means that if you find any trap in a box, like a flame turret, gun trap, or even a simple snap trap, you can effectively defend your base against early raids. If you're living in a house that's not finished yet and being raided, you can quickly put a roof over the door and increase your chances of survival. This works not only with stone. The first type of the bunker with stairs, but made of metal, works the same way. Of course, it's easier to break the stairs than to blow up the metal. But this is still a good implementation of a few hundred metal frags. It's often very useful to think for a while and consider possible applications of skins in some specific situation. For example, in one of my bases, I couldn't design a shooting floor for shooting down helicopters. All the options were too clumsy and dangerous in case of a raid. But as soon as I bought a metal skin, I could easily attract the helicopter, spend a few hundred metal on changing the skins of a few roofs to create a great shooting floor for the helicopter, which would work well on all sides of the house. As soon as the helicopter is shot down, I can just change the skin back. Well, here we come to the most important thing about roofs. This is the bottom texture. As you can see, skins allow us to see much more even on such a simple floor shooting. However, in the era of multi-TC bases, the ability to remove the lower part from the roof is simply priceless. Here, for example, is a rather convenient shooting floor under the roof, a thin, neat gap. Convenient to aim, easy to hit. But if there were no paid skins here, it would look like this. In the case of metal, this texture simply cannot be shot through. But the situation with stone grade is quite different. I think this, by the way, can also be used for some crazy placement of turrets. I have already shown you an interesting bunker with paid skin, so now it's time to show it again so you could know how it works. We put 2 roofs, upgrade the outer one to HQM and the inner one to the container skin. We put a ceiling and we can also add some kind of a door here. As a result, we get the simplest bunker, there's no way to push through, and the closure of this bunker is very cheap. Well, let's finish with the roofs. Let's better talk about weapon racks. There is one interesting bug with them. For it, we will need to install a couple of roofs. We install roofs, upgrade them to different materials, and put a rack inside. Now we have a secret stash in case of a raid or a convenient place to store weapons for the shooting floor. But there are a couple of details here. Firstly, any player can take a weapon from such rack, so it's better to place it next to the turret. Secondly, the smaller the weapon, the deeper down it goes. This means that in order to get small guns like, for example, a revolver, you need to find the right pixel. The very first feature with a side will help us. We upgrade the roof to a brick, and now we can go this side, smoothly lower the mouse down, and we are guaranteed to reach any weapon we want. Now, how about a pixel gap without building a bunch of foundations? It's easier than you think. You just need to place 2 triangles, 2 ceilings, and upgrade everything to stone. Then, you can change the skin of ceilings to adobe or brick. Now, anything under the ceiling can be looted from above, and it works backward too. How to use it? Besides building convenient loot rooms, you can try to loot something that we could not destroy during a raid. Imagine there's a closed room above and we need to know if there's any loot. We can change the skin and look for a pixel gap. If the chests are triggered, it's worth breaking the ceiling. Maybe the chests even have no locks, so you won't need to break it. Here's a cheap and funny trap for donators. Place stone stairs, then place mines on the edges of them, change the skin to brick, and you get invisible mines that will detonate while a player enters the base. Obviously, you can attract players using a picky and loot their bodies after the explosion. Finally, let's talk about the barrel. For a few bucks, we get coffins that work on all the servers and fit in a half block. They have no compromises. Crafted cheaply, can be placed anywhere, fit as much as a large chest, and can even be connected with pipes. The only downside is that they can't be locked with a code lock, but it's not a big deal for such functionality. You just need to know that despite their round appearance, the game sees them as squarer. So, when you're trying to place barrels next to each other, place squares, not circles. This will help fit 3 barrels in one triangle. Now, let's have a look at the most space-efficient variations of loot rooms. These new barrels also became imbalanced because they can be placed in a triangle with an adapter. This means that all micro loot rooms, connected with pipes, became 4 times more spacious. By the way, all 3 stone block skins have thin door frames. This means that with any of these 3 skins, you can easily put 4 chests in a square loot room with a garage door. The exclusive feature of the Adobe skin is its high stairs edges. They allow you to easily protect your base from unwanted guests. You can even use them as a cheap bunker. Just place stairs in front of the door, upgrade them to stone, and the bunker is ready. If you want to close it, change the skin to Adobe. If you want to open it, return the skin to stone. It can't be forced open, but you can destroy it with a jackhammer. This can even be used in large houses. For example, if someone's raiding your door, you can place stairs, upgrade them to stone, and after the raid, you can easily break them down. By the way, the brick skin also can help in online raids. The edge, piercing textures, differences in roof width, covering doorways, new shooting floors, and 8 rockets bunker, weapon racks inside textures, pixel gaps, invisible mines, imbalanced micro loot rooms, stairs against raids, thin frames. In this video, I've shown you 12 bugs, glitches, or just features of building skins. They affect the game balance and give an advantage to donators. But which building skins are worth their money, and which are not? It's all quite subjective. But if we don't consider the decorative function, the least functional skin is the Brutalist skin for stone. It has almost no bugs, and all the benefits it has can also be found in other skins. The most useful skins, in my opinion, are Brick and Container. Brick allows you to use the most useful bugs with stone, and the container not only takes the same function for metal, but also allows you to paint your house in any color. And that can be so sneaky. I haven't bought the weapon racks pack, cause I can use regular lockers instead, for free. The Frontier pack is definitely worth its money because of a barrel that you can use in any base, increasing the amount of slots in a square. In short, brick, container, and Frontier pack. They're all worth your attention, even though these skins cost more than Rust itself. Thank you for watching, I'll be happy if you like this video. See you in the next video.